This is me after 6 months of making healthier and simpler food choices. And this was me making poor food choices. With so much information about diet, nowadays we seem to be more confused than ever. We very often hear statements such as eating fat to lose fat, a diet high in protein is ideal, and you will not lose fat if your glycogen reserves are high. You need to deplete your glycogen reserve first and switch to ketosis, then you lose body fat. Well, by following this strategy, carbs are bad for you, therefore fruits are bad food to lose body fat, right? Well, not quite. Hi, my name is Antonio Silva and I'm here to share with you my personal experience of what happened to me by eating only fruits for 6 months. Yep, you heard me right. I spent 6 months eating only fruits. And eating only fruit wasn't so hard for me. They are delicious. And there are so many options. But to be fair, I have been a vegetarian for at least 10 years. And more recently, I progressed into a plant-based diet. Then I decided to try a fruitarian diet for 6 months straight. Why would I do that? Why anyone would do that? Especially when we have so many people telling us how carbs are bad for us and how sugar will make us fat and metabolic sick. Well, you have to take into consideration the fact that sugar in the fruits as a whole is absorbed by your body in an entirely different dynamic when compared to refined sugar in processed foods. Therefore, it is very inaccurate to compare the sugar from fruits with the sugar from any processed foods. But this is a more complex topic for another video. For right now, let's just accept the fact that sugar from fruits is not absorbed the same ways as sugar from processed foods, okay? Let's go for my motivation. My motivation for this experiment on eating only fruits for 6 months were, first, I want to feel by myself if I would have any health improvement on such diet. And two, burn some body fat and get leaner, if it's possible. One point worth to emphasize here is the fear of eating fruits has risen in this last decade. This new behavior seems to be contradictory because eating fruits has been a common habit for centuries. From personal experience, I was raised in Brazil, having fruits as an important component of my diet. So I always felt weird that fruits become something to avoid. On the other hand, the fruits that are usually recommended as ideal for your health, such as blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries, are not so common in Brazil, where I come from. What does that mean? People shouldn't eat the fruits that are common in their own country? This big misleading of sugary fruits such as bananas, mangoes, grapes, and many others is bad for us come from scientific studies on feeding mice with refined sugar or high fructose corn syrup. This sugar intake condition generated mice with a metabolic disease. However, in human studies, when humans are fed with fruits and vegetables, they don't get sick, they actually get better. I have to confess, I also was convinced that the eating fruits wasn't a health choice because of the sugar content. But deep inside of me, it never felt right. So I did my homework and I dig a little deeper into the literature and I tried to make sense with what I found from fruits and human physiology and bioenergetics. So then I decided to experiment on myself and find out what change would happen to my body if I spent 6 months eating only fruits. To understand what happened to my blood, in this experiment I did a blood test one day before I start the diet and another blood test 6 months later into the diet, measuring LDL, HDL, and fasting blood sugar. The results I will show you in the next video with more details. We don't need this video to be too big. In this video, I would like to talk first about what I felt on this diet. As you can see in this picture, my body changed completely, as described by many fruitarians. They say you can lose body fat much easier. For me, that turns out to be true. I never get as lean as I am right now, coming from 25 to 12.5% body fat. And what was very good about this diet was I lost 22 pounds of fat without feeling food deprived and eating to feel fully satiated. I still want to improve a little bit more, and I will report when I get there. But for now, I'm feeling great. I always felt very energetic on this diet. And of course, carbohydrates are the preferred source of energy. And fat can also be used as a source of energy, but the conditions for fat to be used are very specific and inefficient when you compare to carbohydrates. Proteins are even more inefficient because to be used as a source of energy, protein has to be turned into carbohydrate. So your body needs carbs to have a proper function. No doubt here. On this diet, my sleep was always great. I track down my sleep score on my Fitbit app every night. The differences before and after the fruitarian diet were clear. I could sleep 5 to 6 hours and function incredibly well for the whole day. 6 hours of sleeping was just perfect for me. Surprisingly enough, my vision improved considerably. I use reading glasses and some words depending on the size I couldn't read before of the fruitarian diet, but after eating only fruits, the same words become readable. I still use my reading glasses, but I don't need that often as before. This improvement was very impressive and a complete surprise to me. My skin looks better and my body recovers much faster from exercises. The best improvement I have in this diet was my memory, which is incredibly better. This one is very important to me because we accept the idea that memory declines with age. But for me, with this experiment, it's very clear how important a diet is related to our cognitive function. This should be obvious for anybody, since our brain runs primarily on carbohydrates. And an extra benefit from the nutrients existent in the fruits can be also achieved on eating only fruit. Okay, what was my routine on these 6 months of eating only fruits? I have to say, I didn't just eat fruits and sit on the couch. I also did intermittent fasting of 16 hours and refeeding within 8 hours. To increase my calorie expenditure, I did 1 hour of cardio exercise 5 days a week. Okay, eating only fruits for 6 months helped me answer some important questions. First, is it healthy? Or is it healthier? Talking from myself, I can say yes, it is. I will show you my fasting blood glucose test and my HDL and LDL cholesterol level in the next video with more details. Okay. Second, can a diet very high in carbohydrates, in this case fruits, make you feel stronger and at the same time be efficient in losing body fat? Yes, it can. I never felt so much stronger as I was during this diet. And as for body fat, you can see by yourself how much fat I was able to burn. Can a diet of 100% fruits improve other aspects of your health? At least for me, a couple of things clearly improved. I can list the sleep quality, digestion, and bowel movement. My sleep quality improved and the time decreased. As I said before, on this diet, 6 hours of sleeping was just perfect for me. My digestion felt fantastic in a way that 1 hour after my meals, I always felt satiated but much lighter. My bowel movements was nicely regulated. Eating only fruits for 6 months was a great experience, and I'm glad that I did. Initially, it was just personal experience that I wasn't planning to share with anybody. But knowing the big confusion about carbs and diet, and the common questions such as, is it too much sugar in the fruits? Where do you get your proteins if you eat a diet like that? How about fat? So I decided to share my experiment with you and hope it might help someone out there. In the next video, I will share my blood test result on my 6 months fruitarian experiment. And do not forget to like and subscribe if you did like this video. And let me know what fruit you like most. And remember, fear no more. Fruits are the best food to improve your health.